What is going on, everybody? This is the Deep Dive. Joe Smith alongside my good friend Kevin Bergsmith. Kevin, how the heck are you, man?
Doing good. Got a Titans win for once. It's like the third time this season. I'm on cloud nine right now. I can't believe it.
Yeah, I needed them to lose. Cost me my parlay. It's fine. Everything's fine. The only leg I missed. I'm good. I'm happy. You and I were both at games last week. Both saw some Division II action. I was over at Macaulay Innsworth. Watched Macaulay do what Macaulay does. You were at CPA and you watched CPA do what CPA does. In a rematch of last year's Division II AA championship that the Lions won. Ingle Martin gets the best of Gary Rankin yet again. This time, maybe in a little bit more dominant fashion, I would say. 34-7 win for the Lions. Before we get into these player breakdowns, we got some good ones from CPA. What'd you see out of CPA last week?
Just impressive overall. Their offense is one of my favorite in the state. Kind of a pro style offense, but they have a lot of different types of wrinkles. Well balanced, but kind of run heavy. Uh, Defense is really sound. They play kind of basic cover three, but they fill their run gaps really well. Boyd was a little bit one dimensional, but they brought uh, what's the old saying? Like they brought their hard hats to work, brought the lunch pails. They're a
Yeah.
hard hitting team. It seemed like every play they were falling forward on offense. They were bringing the wood on defense, but it just wasn't enough against CPA, especially on the road. Just really impressive overall.
Yeah. I mean, CPA is a beast. I mean, there's a reason they've gone to this is their eighth straight Division II state championship.
Yeah,
I think they're 3-4 in those games, maybe 4-3, something like that. I know they have the two losses to Lipscomb in that time. They lost one to ECS, but right now they're the class of Division II. They're unbeaten. They have not played a close game since week two. I think week two when they beat Pearl Cone 22-15, 21-15, something like that. That was the last close game they've played. So, um, and they got some dudes, and one of those dudes is we'll talk about him. Before we get into him, let's talk about the big uglies up front. CPA's
yeah.
offensive line, one of the best around, and they're led by a really good guy in I forgot his name. I'm so sorry. Uh, Brady Smith.
Yep.
Brady Smith. Stupid Joe. Interior offensive lineman, CPA committed to Furman. Also a really good baseball player for them. What did you see out of Brady leading that CPA offensive line last week?
So he plays center for them. They had 50 snaps on offense. I saw him. I had him at four pancakes. Really good run blocker. Really good getting to the second level. I thought that was the thing he did the best. Both front side, back side, just kind of getting in the way. Very good sustaining blocks. This is a guy who all his pancakes came like right at the whistle. Just kind of like kept his hands on guys, kept pushing them forward, kept just being annoying, just an annoying offensive lineman. I know if I was a defender, I would hate this guy. Really good sustaining, finishing blocks, really good run blocker. They ran it 34 times, passed it 16. They moved him a couple times. They had, a couple wrinkles on offense. He pulled twice, like pulled outside the numbers on these like buck sweeps. They did one running back screen. So they didn't get him out in space a whole lot, but when he did, he was definitely pretty agile out in space, looked really athletic. I liked what I saw from him.
Yeah, he was a first team selection on our all area medium class team last year for good reason. Obviously, John Wayne Oliver stole all the headlines last year because let's
Yeah.
be real, John Wayne Oliver, massive human being. Brady a little smaller than him, a couple inches shorter, not nearly as as big as John was, but he was a big reason why CPA's offensive line was dominant last year. He's a big reason why they're dominant this year. Ross Patterson's one of my favorite running backs in the state, and a lot of those holes don't get opened up if it's not for Brady leading that line. Heck of a running back. We talk about him a lot here because he's really good, as is the rest of that CPA offensive line. Um, Going to Furman, I think they're getting one of our better offensive linemen around here, and I think he could play Division I ball wherever he wanted if he really got a shot. Um, CPA's offensive line opens up things for their skill guys, and they got a really, really good one out wide in Owen Cavill, the junior who holds multiple SEC offers. He had a big touchdown reception here that we'll watch last week against Boyd, courtesy
Yep.
of our good friend Chris Brooks, who, if I'm smart, I'll rewind it and we'll watch it because, technology, gotta love it. Maybe, who knows? We can watch some of his other highlights here. Why not? This
Right.
was a BGA. He's very close right there to. I mean, he keeps his toe in. That's one of the better touchdown catches you see this year. Um, he's just a heck of an athlete overall. He does all the little things right. We'll watch more of his highlights as you talk. But what did you see out of Owen? What do you think of him as a player?
Big play threat. That was the big thing, especially deep. He had 8 targets in the game. I think 4 of them were what we call level 3 throws, essentially deep shots, more than like 30 yards downfield. They threw 3 go routes to him. I think first play of the game was an out and up. They took a shot deep. He had ended up having 4 catches for 125 yards and a touchdown. All of that was in the first half, by the way. He had 2 broken tackles. One was on his touchdown of 54 yards. It was right before the goal line. Made a big catch and then just broke away from the defender. Another one was on a bubble screen. Defender tried to hit him right at the line of scrimmage and just fell off. Like you would have thought he was playing against like a JV defender. It was just kind of, what was that? And he ended up getting about 17 yards of yards after the catch. Just impressive. Like he makes it look easy. Guys like some of the guys that we have watched this year, they just make it look so effortless. Like they're not even running hard. They're not even trying. It's just natural to them. And that was a big thing with him. He looked natural at it. Just a natural football player, natural receiver, able to get open. He's fast, but not like track speed fast, just football fast. He puts on the pads and just kind of slowly pulls away from defenders. We'll see it on these highlights. All these deep shots, the defenders are with him, and then as the ball gets closer, there's just a little bit more space created right before the catch. So they're not even contested catches. He just knows how to get open, especially when the ball is coming right near him.
Yeah, and this is that touchdown pass. I mean,
Yeah, right
credit.
here, like, and then breaks the tackle right for the goal line, and just then that looks so easy. Like
Yeah.
that's just, I love that as a scout, seeing players like that just being natural with the ball in their hands.
Yeah,
Same thing right here. Like just separates, makes it look easy.
yeah. The kid's a freak athlete. I mean, he does this against the best players in the state, best teams in the state. I hate technology. You get these videos uploaded on here, and it's like, actually, you know what? I'm not gonna play him. I don't know what's going on, but anyway, yeah, no, he's a freak athlete. That touchdown against Boyd is kind of just what he's done all year, and he's done it against the best teams in the state. He's done it against FRA. He's done it against BGA. He's done it against Pearl Cone. He did it against NBA. Last year in the state championship, he had a couple really big receptions, and that was a run-heavy CPA team that he was on. And this year, Hudson Chance, his ability to throw the ball to Owen has really let his game shine. Hudson, you could argue, is the best throwing quarterback CPA's had in a long time. He throws some nasty deep balls, and you saw it on that pass. I mean, you didn't really scout him, but what did you see out of Hudson? I mean, it just seems like he does it naturally. He's a Tennessee baseball commit, I believe.
Okay. Really good. Really smart. Didn't take any unnecessary shots. I think we broke down George McIntyre early in the season, and he didn't have any turnover worthy plays, like no pass defenses by the defense. Same thing by CPA's quarterback. I was not taking notes on him, but there wasn't a single play where I thought, oh man, this guy, they're in trouble with this guy at QB. Never that. Like I said, they're a run heavy offense, but balanced. They just kind of tend more towards the run. I think I was telling you guys before the show started. At halftime, they had 10 passes, and 7 of the targets were to Owen. So he knows who his targets are. He's not trying to distribute the wealth, so to speak. He knows get it to number 14 and preferably deep. He does what he's supposed to do. Never put his team in a bad position. He's got some wheels on him too. Yeah, definitely like him.
Yeah, and they have Owen, and then they have Knox McLean as kind of a second guy. Bradshaw Clem's really come into his own, kind of filling that role that Cruz Law played last year with that power run game. And
Yeah.
then I know you didn't keep stat tabs on him because he's not like getting maybe the same kind of look. Like you were there, you saw Brady, you saw Owen.
Mhm.
Ross Patterson's a nasty little running back.
Yeah, he
I
is.
mean, the Patterson boys, the gene, the genes there with Kane and Langston. Now you got Rawls and Preston. Preston might be their best linebacker. Yeah, CPA is just loaded, man, everywhere, every single position. Um, and I've said this multiple times, and it may sound blasphemous, but even with all the Division 1 talent they had last year with Cruz Law and John Wayne Oliver and kid that went to Georgia. Why am I spacing on his name?
Andre Evans.
Andre Evans. Yeah. Even with, I think this CPA team is deeper and they're almost all juniors, and that should terrify the state,
Yeah.
even with CPA going to D2 AAA next year. So, um, they play for another gold ball here in 2 weeks. Last time they'll play at CPA this year, and we talk every week about what you think of the stadiums. And you've mentioned multiple times CPA is one of your favorites around.
Yeah. Love their stadium. I love that it's in the back. I love the view of it, sitting
Mhm.
up on the home side. Just the trees in the background, the black fence kind of separating things. I was with my wife, and I told her, like, if have you ever seen the movie The Village? It feels like we're in the forest right now. It's not
Yeah.
like Brentwood Academy feels like you're in Bruce Wayne's backyard.
Yep.
CPA feels like you're in the middle of the forest. There's these trees. It just feels like you're secluded. Calling it the den. It's just it's kind of sunken when you walk in. The
Yep.
field is just a little bit kind of below sea level, so to speak. I love the disparity between the size of the visitor stands and the home stands. I'm also a sucker for like true football stadiums, no tracks. So I like
Yep.
it when the crowd is a little bit closer, and just the family atmosphere of CPA too.
Mhm.
The PA announcer was name dropping like nobody I've ever heard before. He knew
Oh,
every kid
yeah.
in the stadium. He knew every alumni. He knew their parents. He
Mhm.
knew what jobs they had. It was incredible. So it just felt like you were at someone's house and they were just talking about, oh, this guy and this girl, and
Yep.
it was a great atmosphere. I love CPA.
They also have a really good student section. I'm sure they were
Yeah.
pumped up last week. So I love CPA Stadium. I just widen the sidelines a little bit. Give us some space down there as reporters. We got to run through these big old offensive linemen, defensive linemen that take up half the. It's a great place. One of my favorite places to cover games. Um, and a lot of that's because the team is really good. So if
Yeah.
they weren't good, it would be like, oh, gotta go here. They're good. Eagle Martin's built a machine there. And we haven't done our state championship predictions yet because we still have some more games left to be played this week.
Yeah.
Fully expect them to win another gold ball just because that's what they do, and this team's better than they have been in the past. So, one more week to go before we go to Chattanooga. I will be at Page at Springfield. The
Okay.
interesting. I mean, that's an interesting game. Springfield throttled Beach last week, and
Yeah.
Beat and Page has just kind of done what they've done. You will be at Oakland, Maryville, Oakland. Oakland survives Riverdale because Dewan Morris the last 2 weeks has gone into Super Saiyan mode.
Yeah. Yeah.
Over 300 all-purpose yards the last couple of weeks, and I think 9 touchdowns between those two games. So unbelievable. Unbelievable. He was recently at Tennessee. We'll see what happens there. He
Mhm.
was at Tennessee over the weekend. How excited are you to get back out to Oakland and see the class of 6A the last couple of years?
Uh, it's like a kid at Christmas. I'm so excited for Maryville, Oakland. I'm
Yeah.
so excited for this, like these heavyweights to go against each other. I was going back through my archives, so to speak, to see all the games that I've seen. This will be the third Maryville Oakland semifinal that
Wow.
I've attended. Uh, both times Oakland has come out on top,
Okay.
and they're just the atmosphere is crazy. I love Oakland's atmosphere, but
Mhm.
Maryville, the lore of Maryville is just like they bring this mystique with them, uh, and you know that whoever ends up winning this, they're going to be dragging. Like they have to drag themselves to get through the game, and they're setting themselves up for success going into the semifinal or going into the finals. Whoever comes out on top is like there's no better competition than one or the other. So the fact that they go against each other, it seems like every year. That was another thing I looked up. Over the past 10 seasons, Maryville Oakland has been the semifinal matchup 9 times.
Last year was
9
the
straight
exception.
times, and the only time was that it wasn't that way was Bradley Central last year.
Yep, with Bill
So
Carter.
we're back to the status quo. Maryville Oakland in the semifinals. I can't wait.
And did Dewan play? You were at Oakland earlier in the year. Did Dewan play in that game? He did.
Yeah,
Okay, that was one of his first games
that was
back,
his
right?
second game back. They had beaten Blackman the week before by 1. It was 13-12, and he had a few carries, but they were kind of keeping him out, just letting him get back in the game. And then he had, I think I looked at it today, he had 10 touches and 3 touchdowns against Rockville in that 60-0 win. And then one of the other players I'll be looking at, Craig Tutt, he had 3 touches and 3 touchdowns in that game as well against Rockville. So
it does make me wonder with Dewan back, do they maybe throw Craig more back in the secondary, which is his like you got, and TT Hill is also back. So
yeah, they've got a ridiculous 3-headed monster at running back. Tutt, I love him on defense. He's a big special teams guy as well. So they have it's a good problem to have. Which guy should we give the ball this time to?
Yeah, no kidding. Big week in our coverage area. Like I mentioned, 2 games. We'll be at Page at Springfield, Maryville at Oakland. A lot of our guys are going to be at Macon County. Massive game up there. Is Anderson County comes to town. My good buddy Chris Brooks, who you guys can't see, he's behind the sticks right now, monitoring all this. The Macon County alum. He won't admit it, but excited for that game, and I'm rooting for him. East Nashville goes all the way out to Martin to play Westview. Graham Simpson, this might be the most athletic secondary he's faced. That East Nashville team is rolling right now. It'll be interesting. And Procone stayed alive, made that comeback against Marshall County, and now they head out to Melrose, and they're riding high. So a lot of great games featuring our area teams this week. And then we'll catch back up one more time next week, man, and cap off some things. And can't say I'm not too excited to talk about next year, because we will have good teams and good players next year. But we'll get this one out, and then one more episode after that, and then it's on to basketball for me. So, Kevin, always enjoy talking with you. I'm glad you had a good weekend with the Vols winning and the Titans winning. Notre Dame just keeps winning for me. So it's been a good week, and always enjoy talking with you. For myself, everyone at 615 Preps, Kevin Bergsmith, we'll talk with you guys next week.
Yes.